Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Chidima Stephanie Ume and I'm a YouTuber who vlogs from Lagos, Nigeria. So just like always, I have another interesting topic which I believe you already know by just reading the title or looking at the thumbnail of this video. Today I'm going to be talking about public speaking and tips and tricks on how to become an effective public speaker. So you might ask, who is this girl? And why is she the one to teach me how to become an effective public speaker? What does she think she knows? Well, over the years, especially as I have come to build my career as a young adult, I have vacillated and basically just worked in different spheres and areas. So I have done journalism, I have done TV presenting, I have also trained, I am a properly trained stage actor, and I've acted in a number of plays and of course even movies in Nigeria. So one of the reasons why I'm adding all of these things is to let you know that over the years I have spoken. I'm a teacher. I have intentionally taught people, not officially but intentionally. I have taught people for well over 5 years. I've been teaching right from when I was in school, teaching my classmates, teaching people in my church. I've also been in places of leadership or management where I'm supposed to talk to people who are my colleagues, who are below me. Maybe I'm ahead of them in class or something, or people who are above me also. And so I am not a stranger to speaking. I'm also a YouTuber, as you can see, and I like to also be active on social media. So I use Facebook, Instagram, and all of those other social media platforms to communicate my thought processes on certain issues. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this so that you would know that this young lady seated in front of you also knows something about public speaking, and I'm actually in a place to help you become a better public speaker. So, that being said, let's jump straight into this video. So, there are a couple of things I believe every public speaker should know in order to become more effective, or, in order to just impress whatever you think or whatever you desire to impress upon the minds of your audience. Number one thing that you need to know, or number one thing that you need to do, is to be prepared and to rehearse as much as possible, especially when you're starting out. Now, I'm sure a number of people would ask, what if it's impromptu? How can I rehearse and prepare if what I want to present to my audience is impromptu? Well, we know that impromptu doesn't exactly happen every day. And even if there's something that is impromptu, it would usually be within a certain space. So let's say you have impromptu presentations maybe in your office or within a certain space. It's not every day that you always get impromptu pieces of engagement to speak to people. One of the best things that you can do to yourself is to always be ready to speak. Always practice. And one of the ways that you can become a better speaker is to become a better learner. You cannot just afford to always be shocked, surprised, or confused and ignorant concerning certain issues. Always take time as a person to go through things, to learn new things, to read about new things. And if you know already, maybe you've been pre-informed that you have an event that you're supposed to speak on, maybe next week, next 2 weeks, next month, or even tomorrow, it then behoves on you to prepare yourself. Now, most people in the process of preparation, they tend to have a book that they go with, or a piece of paper where they write their speech on. Personally, as much as I love the idea, I don't exactly support it, especially if it is more central things like you want to maybe speak at an event, things that are not so rigid. More like if you want to speak to people in the academia, it makes sense that you go there with a speech. But I feel like if you want to speak at an event, if you want to speak, concerning business or things that are a little bit less stringent and things that you can go off script for, maybe you need to explain yourself, then I would greatly suggest that what you do is you have a book where you list the most important points that you want to share Not everything, but the most important points that you want to share, you list it, you have bullet points. And so when you get there and you start to speak, you can then list one point and then explain it, just like I'm doing in this video. It's very, very helpful when you know how to do such a thing. And it's only through rehearsal that you would know what exactly you want to say after giving each point. So, if you want to become a better public speaker, the first tip is rehearsal and preparation. The second tip is being authentic. This particular point is so important. I cannot overemphasize it. Most of the time, when people want to speak, they want to speak as someone else, they want to look like someone else. A lot of Nigerians, when I speak to people who have maybe stage fright or lack of confidence, they feel like, I'm not like you, I'm not like this person, I don't know what to say, I don't know how well to string my words together. Or maybe I have a problem with my pronunciation of words, I have an accent, I don't have such a strong use of English and grammar. This is where a lot of people make mistakes. A lot of people think that public speaking is about grammar. Like, the only set of people that can become effective public speakers are people who only know how to speak Queen's English. And so you see many graduates of the language English, or people that just read something related to English language, they are the people that like to claim public speakers. I'm not trying to diss anybody, but that's the lie of the century. You must be yourself as a public speaker. You must learn to be confident in and of yourself. You must see yourself as the product, as the thing being sold. You must be authentic. You must learn to go there and speak to them as yourself. You lead me to my next point, which is make mistakes. It's okay. Start small and make mistakes. If you are just starting and you know that you have a fear of public speaking, I would certainly not advise you to start by speaking in big crowds, talking to a large number of people. You can literally start small from anything. You can start from your parlor, you can start from friends and family, you can start from work, you can start from school. When people have an opportunity, oh, we need someone who is going to do that, and this, let your hands be up. Offer to do those things, offer to lead, offer to be in front. That way, if you're going to be leading people, you would need to communicate with them, and you need to always drive their minds and their brains back to the assignment on ground. What that means is you would be left with no other option than to communicate with them constantly. So start small, start from the little that you have, and ensure that you're okay making mistakes. This reminds me of something that happened to me a couple of years back when I was in the choir department in my church. I was asked to lead a particular song, and yes, I led the song. It was okay, but I made a mistake. I forgot some lines of the song, so I had to ad lib those lines. And I literally felt like the song was, or the presentation was really messed up because of how forgetful I was of those lines. And so I always told people around me, I messed up. That song was bad. The song was awful. My presentation was drabby. And I just kept on telling people how awful I felt I did. Till one of my friends just angrily reacted one day and he was like, Chidima, I don't know why you'd say that that performance was bad. I absolutely enjoyed your performance. That was when I realized that the mistake that I had held over my head for so long, I was the only person that noticed my mistake. I was the only person that realized that I made a mistake in that area. Every other person enjoyed the song. And then what if people carry your mistakes for the next 200 years in their hearts? It shows that they don't have anything reasonable that they are doing with their lives. It's okay to make mistakes. Once you do so, learn what you need to learn and then move on. You've learned your lesson, and be off with it. Ask yourself, now that I know this thing, what can I do differently with this bit of information that I now have in my hands? And I think that should make all the difference. So that's my number three. Start small, make mistakes. Which leads me to my number 4 point: be a person of value. When you're a person of value, you're able to discern the worth that you have. You're able to remind yourself that the reason why these people called me to come and speak to them, or the reason why these people are seated and I'm the person standing to speak, or the reason why people are quiet when I'm talking is because I have something to say. I'm a person of value. I know that what I want to give to my world is important and it's going to impact them positively. That is the first reason on earth why they are going to call me on stage or call me on set to speak to them. Once you have that at the back of your mind, I feel like it will help you to just re-register your mind and understand things better. When you know that I am important and that is why this person has called me, it's going to change a lot. But then on the flip side, there are times when you are important and you're the only person that knows that you're important. Other people around you do not know how important you are. That's where psychology comes to play. If you are an important person, you also have to make sure that the people who are listening to you can be able to discern it in the way you talk, in the way you carry yourself, and in the way you are able to sell this bit of information. A good example I love to use every time I'm talking about um, public speaking is the person of Martin Luther King. When he wanted to tell people that they should, now, a summary of everything Martin Luther King was trying to say is, guys, we are being oppressed. Let's fight against oppression. But he didn't just come out right there and say, let's fight against oppression. He said, I have a dream that one day my children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Ooh. Now his listeners have a picture. He's buying into their psychology that this is possible. My children can one day be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I want it. This guy is a valuable person in helping me to get this thing that I want. That is what you need to understand as a speaker. You need to communicate in such a way that you have something in your mind and you are able to sell it to the other person. The other person knows instinctively that if I partner with this guy or if I work with this guy or this lady, so that I don't sound like somebody that is that is practicing gender inequality. But if I work with this person, I can be able to achieve this thing. It's so important. So the next point, like I said, number 4 is being a person of value. Last but not the least, I don't expect you to be perfect at your first try. So, the next thing I'd love for you to do is to reflect and improve yourself. Every time you try, you reflect, you improve. You reflect, you improve. The first speech I gave was not the best speech. This is still not the best speech, but it's better than the first speech I gave. When I'm done with this video, I would sit with it, I would watch it, I would learn errors and mistakes that I've made in one place or the other, and I would work towards being better at it. That is the work of a public speaker. If it is possible, go through those things that you've done, go through the speech you gave. If you can ask for a replay, please do and watch yourself. In the beginning, you might cringe, but after a while, you learn a thing or two that you did wrongly, and then you look for a way to work and do better in those areas. I do not assume that this video is completely exhaustive and tells you everything you need to know about public speaking, but I feel like with these first 5 points, you can start off decently. I plan to do more videos of this sort, helping people to communicate better. And I also plan to have more products, even in written form. And of course, give courses on the topic of communication and public speaking. Do watch out for them. And bye for now.